How about now?
Can you hear us now?
They can hear us now.
They can hear us now.
We're talking about Fox Marvel.
Yeah. So basically, I was asking about Deadpool being involved in. There you go.
Keith.
You're doing it. You're doing that Patty special, man. But yeah, what I was asking was if Deadpool would be included in that contract, and I think what would be really cool is if they did include him, you have the possibility of him crossing over with a lot of really interesting characters in the Marvel MCU.
Exactly.
Which has happened quite a bit in the comic books as of the past 10 years. They've moved Deadpool up from being kind of a B squad character to an A squad character.
I mean, he's definitely worth it though.
He had a variant cover for the last Fantastic Four #1.
Yeah.
I had
what?
The very last issue of Fantastic Four.
The very last #1.
The very last #1, yeah.
Was it like the barcode, like him in the barcode?
No.
No? Damn it. I love that shit.
The Koblish?
Yeah. I think I got 3 issues of them just like traveling from, and like on on the cover of one issue, Doctor Strange is like, what the hell are you even doing here? He's like, dude, I have no clue.
But yeah, no, I think it's really cool. I mean, he's gone from, being this mercenary who's trying to be a hero to being prior to Secret Empire, he was the Avengers chief financier.
Yeah.
He set up a merchandise store and basically a merchandise line for Avengers and himself to finance their shit.
So this for y'all. I'm gonna fucking hook me up too.
Hey, he single-handedly beat the Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
And I mean that as a double entendre because he cut off one of his hands to do it.
Yeah. Well, somebody cut off one of his hands. So.
No, he cut it off.
Oh, he cut it off.
Because remember they had all the clones.
Yeah, and he was dressed up. He was done up. Well, no. He was done up as the way it ended in Omega. He was done up as Captain America. He was dressed up as Captain America.
Oh, no, I was talking about...
Well, because Captain America, the clone Captain America, was the leader of the Hydra Empire that took over.
No, I'm talking about Secret Invasion.
Oh, Secret Invasion, yes.
He beat that whole thing single-handedly because he cut off his hand. Because they had taken his mutation and put it in all the little soldiers.
That was actually the beginning of it.
That was the beginning of it?
Yeah, because he was on the ship to steal the info on how to kill the Queen, because without the Skrull Queen, the Skrull Empire would just kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
And it got intercepted by Norman Osborn.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he was trying to transmit the information to Nick Fury, and Norman Osborn basically intercepted the transmission, took the information, killed the Skrull Queen, and then got a commendation from the president.
Wait, they were working together?
Well, no. Norman Osborn at the time was the leader of the Thunderbolts, which was kind of like a ragtag band of villains that would go out.
It's a Marvel version of Suicide Squad.
Right. Yeah. And they would go out and perform, they would do the dirty jobs that nobody else would do, but they were working for the greater good, supposedly. Yeah. Well, he did that all to basically become the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., turn it into Hammer, and then... he became the Iron Patriot. That's the first time you see the Iron Patriot. It was one of Norman Osborn had basically repainted one of Tony Stark's armors.
The Hammer? No shit.
No, Hammer.
Oh, Hammer.
Yeah. And then Tony Stark was one of the most wanted men in the world at that point because they were blaming him for some shit. And everything got turned upside down, man. It was crazy story arc. But Dark Avengers, Siege, and I think the infamous Iron Man, or I can't remember.
Infamous Iron Man was with the symbiote armor.
Oh no! That wasn't the Infamous.
International Iron Man is the history of Tony Stark, and that was a great series, by the way.
Infamous wasn't the symbiote armor; it was Superior.
See, when it comes to Iron Man, just in any series that he does just on his own, I don't know. I
would recommend International Iron Man because that is basically him in college, which they haven't really shown up much of. Yeah. And
his parents died when he was in high school or whenever he started college?
When he was in college.
His college, okay.
Now, you remember that story arc you were talking about where there was a possibility of him having some... He was an alien. No, he had alien DNA or something.
He was genetically engineered.
Yeah. Do you think they will put that into the Marvel MCU?
Oh man, I think they certainly should, because that is such a great story. I don't remember where I found it. I know I had it digitally.
Maybe a little inkling of it because of what he keeps seeing. He keeps having these flashbacks of, you know, the Chitauri invasion, and I'd hate to think that it's just shell shock.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that there's a little bit more to it. You know, him seeing his team dead in front of him, and, you know, Cap saying, "You could have saved us." You know, that's more than just shell shock. That's like a fucking vision.
Yeah.
Well,
you know?
Basically, all that was, Tony Stark was genetically engineered to pilot a massive suit of armor. Galactus, of course, is from the universe prior to the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Well, there were beings before that universe that were insanely larger.
What?
And they had robotic armor. And one of these
bigger than
suits,
Galactus.
Oh yeah. And one of these suits was still out there floating in space, but nobody in this time knew how to pilot it. So Tony Stark was essentially genetically engineered to pilot robotic armored suits, so they could take him into deep space and pilot this thing and fight some war.
So that's a way to legitimize him developing the armor and all that stuff. It's like it's all
it's in his DNA.
Yeah, it's all a precursor to getting to that big suit in the sky.
Yeah,
that's fucking nuts, dude.
That's the secret origins of Tony Stark, not of Iron Man, of Tony Stark.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and it is insane. I think it's
crazy
4 to 6 issues. And it is out there, and it is a hefty read. It's very
bigger
wordy.
than fucking Galactus.
Yeah,
that's almost as big as me.
Have you? if Keith ever stops by your planet,
yeah, I'll suck that shit right up.
There you go.
That's the time to
kind of run, man. Better get to a spaceship.
He won't gag at all either.
I don't know if Tim Curry is going to be a Disney princess, but I fucking hope. Jose.
And he says, "Patty, you looking fine."
Oh, you goddamn right. I'm trying to grow it in. This is like 3 days.
There you go. Pretty soon you can look like me.
Oh man, I'm hoping to look like that in another couple more days.
Maybe.
A couple of years.
We got another whatever.
We have a fucking fly in here.
There's
We're not all just tripping out.
Yeah. If you see us going like this, we're not trying to wave you off and tell you to go the fuck away.
That's the funniest thing to ever watch, is somebody deal with a bee from a distance.
If it gets right out of your head, I'm going to fucking headbutt it. I'm just like,
I was going to slap your arm earlier, man. I saw it sitting there. I was
for real? I didn't even feel it. Yeah, you should have.
Yeah.
If it's in my face,
I was working my way towards it. I was working my way towards it, and then it flew off.
All of a sudden, I'm just talking. All of a sudden, just Jimmy, wham!
There's a fly.
Right
Fuck, man. Like on the internet, you got evidence of me punching you in the face or some shit.
And it's out there.
God damn it.
Forever. It's live.
Yep. Can't take that shit down.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't anyway. But there was a lot of people talking, and I don't know if anybody keeps up with our actual website, but there's a new article up. There's a lot of people talking. Hugh Jackman, will he return to the role? Because one of the reasons he left the role was he wanted to be an Avenger.
Yeah.
And Fox essentially told him it's not going to happen. Now, this rumor got a lot of traction, an insane amount of traction, to the point where there are a lot of websites were confirming it, that he was returning to the role. So I actually did some digging. He was actually talking to Collider about The Greatest Showman, his new movie that he has out. And it was brought up. And Hugh Jackman put it simple. You know, for 17 years, every time I went and saw an Avengers movie, I thought, man, how cool would it be to see Wolverine standing next to the Hulk and Iron Man, or see him go at it and duke it out?
Yeah.
And those two were his favorites. In every interview, those two characters came up.
I would love to see a Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
That would be amazing. See, that's the thing. There's so much potential for having a big character pool.
Well, see, now we could have had the Old Man Logan film the way we deserved.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we definitely deserved this one. It was awesome.
It was good.
But it could have been like more true to the book.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a lot of involvement of
the
Avengers, and there was a lot of discussion about certain characters. Plus, Hawkeye was kind of palling around with him the whole book.
Yeah.
So,
All blind as shit.
Yeah. And then you had Spider-Man.
Hawkeye was blind in that one?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. The blind archer. So.
That's nuts.
And then you had the Hulk and his
his
Hulk family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleeping
crazy.
with your cousin, man. That's how you get what you see in that book.
Yeah.
Green and hideously deformed. No, but a lot of people were talking, like Willie Return, and he said, for 17 years I thought this would be really cool if it happened. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and for me, I feel like the ship has sailed. But for somebody else, I think it'd be really cool to see that happen. So he wants somebody else to do that.
Yeah.
But he is not doing it.
Didn't he name Tom Hardy as
yes,
his
he wants Tom Hardy
replacement?
to take his place. But
that would work out.
That's up in the air.
I mean, he's got a good build for it.
Yeah.
Well, with this, prior to the merger, you got Tom Hardy to play Venom.
Yeah.
And then
but
Hugh Jackman picking him to play Wolverine. Well, now you have him.
But Venom is Venom is a Sony property.
Yes, but Sony and Marvel
kind of have a partnership.
Yeah,
they have a partnership.
Yes.
So, I'm pretty sure they can make men's and kind of work around. I mean, hell, that would be a big moneymaker for both of them.
You say that, and you also have to consider this, though. Okay? You got Cable being played by who?
Oh!
And who has he been playing?
Thanos.
Yeah.
So...
See, yeah, I don't understand why they continue to use the same people for both parts.
They're trying to be like Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Laura Vandervoort played Supergirl in Smallville, and then she played the key villain in the new Supergirl.
Like to me, Cable is a bigger guy. I mean, he did a good job as playing a bigger guy as Thanos. But why couldn't they do that for him as Cable? Like Cable's a big fucking dude, man.
Okay, now let's get down to the nitty gritty of why Cable is shaped the way he is. And it's because of the era of comics when he made his debut.
Yeah.
It was all about short, incredibly stocky, a lot of guns, shoulder pads, all sorts of ridiculous.
Well, I think even now, Cable is depicted as close to 7 feet, maybe a little bit taller.
I still like Tyler Mane for the role.
Yeah.
Because White, he's fucking 7 foot tall.
Yeah. But he's probably reaching that point where doing a physical role might be a little much for him.
Actually, when we did our fan casting a while back, after that episode, I actually dug into it and, how good a physical shape has he stayed in, and he's still incredibly active.
Really?
Yes, he's just as fit as he was when he was a pro wrestler.
Well, with all the movies that are coming out and the hopes that Marvel and Fox, will be able to create something more, as a use the licenses they both have to create something better. We might see him in another role. We might see him in something else. And him playing Sabretooth, he had the look.
Yeah, he did.
Perfect.
But that was his first speaking role in a film.
It was,
and it was a little early for that.
Yeah.
Now, he was also in Rob Zombie's Halloween remake as Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Not a speaking role, but incredibly intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a guy standing in a doorway, scare the shit out of you.
And that's sort of like Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash played the Super Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and that was awesome.
Kevin Nash played Shredder?
That was his first on-screen. It's Super Shredder.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Whenever he mutated, he became the big, massive Shredder.
Yeah.
He also played the Russian.
The Punisher.
Yeah. And I didn't know that.
Are you serious?
I didn't know that when I went to see the film. I didn't realize it was him. I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I watched the special features once I bought the DVD, and I see a behind the scenes of him, like, passing by the camera going, hello. And I was like, oh shit, it's Kevin Nash.
Now,
they'll massage your cock for money.
I kind of went off in a blank there, so I don't know if you mentioned him, but the guy who played the Jason in the recent Jason movies, and he also did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was also he was also the son of Christopher Walken and Batman Returns. That same big ass dude, and he played physical roles in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and also in Jason. I think he would have probably done a really good job as Cable as well if they would have went ahead and thought about doing the physical aspects of the way he looked in the comics.
I'm doing that thing again because I keep blanking on who is actually playing Cable and Thanos, and I know who it is.
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. There you go.
I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because he posts weird shit about his dog. A lot. He posts a lot about his girlfriend.
He's a good actor, and him playing the serious roles like he does, like his impersonation of Tommy Lee Jones, was amazing.
Fucking phenomenal, man.
Amazing. And seeing that, I can see how he can get into that role.
That's Men in Black 3, folks.
Yeah,
by
Men in
the
Black
way.
3, which was a hell of a lot better than 2.
That's the best one of the series,
Yeah.
I gotta say.
It
Men
was
in Black
good.
3.
It was redeeming.
Oh, definitely. For the whole series.
Yeah. And
Did you cry?
A little bit.
Did you?
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Did you
I've
cry?
only seen.
Don't lie, you cry. You cry.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
No, it was. I think seeing him play those characters in the past, I think will.
Jonah Hex.
Yeah, he played Jonah Hex, which I still haven't seen that movie.
I haven't either.
But
God.
well, I mean, it didn't get a lot of.
Jonah Hex is kind of one of the real DC oddball characters. Like
It seemed like it was made almost like the very first Ghost Rider movie. It seemed like kind of in that vein. And I don't know.
Let's try to put some art on it, but mostly it's an ash can.
I like the idea of it.
Ghost Rider.
I like the idea of Jonah Hex. I like the idea of the movie. I don't know if I want to see it because it might ruin that whole idea.
I think Jonah Hex would be good as like an additional character to a movie, but like a whole movie to himself.
It's cool you mentioned that because Legends of Tomorrow has actually been featuring Jonah Hex,
Yep.
and the guy who's playing him is
he's
really
done a
good.
damn good job.
Yeah,
he talks like this. Makes bitches' panties wet instantly.
Oh yeah. Until they look at it the other side of his face and they're like, "Oh God!"
Oh no!
What happened?
My ball's still moistened up at that.
Slippery.
Oh, that's funny.
I creeped the shit out of Tanya the other night. We're sitting here watching Criminal Minds and some backwoods case and somebody got killed and the sheriff's got this real deep accent. And they said it was Moita. The hell? It was Moita.
That's funny as fuck.
Like Jim Varney from
Oh yeah.
You want one for your boy?
I got one for my boy last year. I meant.
Don't get too close. Poison.
I miss Jim Varney. That guy's fucking hilarious.
You be looking at him.
That cop was like,
It's
way the
relevant,
fuck
folks.
back.
It's Christmas.
That's right. I think we only got a couple more episodes before our Christmas episode.
One more episode.
One more episode for our Christmas episode, and we'll be watching Die Hard because it's a fucking Christmas movie.
That's right. Die Hard.
Next week we'll be watching A Christmas
Die
Story
Hard is
because
Christmas
I fucking
movie.
love that
And
movie.
if you don't fucking believe it, fuck you. Turn off this shit now.
Now, I know my girlfriend knows Die Hard is a Christmas movie to her.
The first two.
'cause we have to watch it. We have to watch it on Christmas.
The first two are Christmas movies.
Yeah. And it seemed like a theme that they would keep going with, but then Die Hard 3 came out and nah.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah. They gave him a full.
That movie, that one was fucking. It was good.
I liked it.
It was good. It was just off. Like to me,
Yeah.
it just seemed like
With a
it just
Vengeance
seemed-
or the second one?
No, with a Vengeance with Samuel L. Jackson.
I love
Like
it.
it was good, man. It just seemed like kind of a generic thing. But
Why do you keep on calling me Jesus? I'm Puerto Rican to you.
My name is Zeus. Like I will take a lightning bolt and
Zeus.
jam it up your ass.
No, I don't believe our Christmas episode will be pre-recorded. I can tell you our New Year's Eve episode will be pre-recorded.
We're not
It'll
going to
be
do
highlight reel of this year.
and
Yeah.
we'll be wearing nothing but tassels,
Christmas
and socks.
Our Christmas episode will not be like one of those fake news channel episodes, that they pre-recorded, like that Thanksgiving shit that happened. And they come out and confess about, oh yeah, we pre-recorded recorded it a week in advance, you know, and we'll do it again. We're only going to do it once every year.
All the little babies are going to burn.
That's terrible.
Oh,
yeah, you didn't tell everybody what we were watching.
Yeah, we're watching Legion.
This old bitch is fucking just biting people.
Oh, fucking
Doug Jones is
Doug
in
Jones is the ice cream man.
Yes, and it's
yeah.
first role that I actually recognized him.
Because he's not wearing makeup.
He doesn't start the scene with any prosthetics. Now, I had seen him in a movie before, but I actually had seen him in quite a few movies before, but I didn't know who he was. I saw him, of course, in Hocus Pocus, and I saw him in The Watchmen.
Wait, he was in Hocus Pocus?
Mystery Men. Yeah. He was the zombie.
He was Billy. That was him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was also the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
He was Abe Sapien.
He was Abe Sapien in Hellboy. The man tickled my ear.
He actually, in Hellboy 2, he
walked
played
up
like...
to me and said, "Oh my God."
In Hellboy 2, he played like 6 different roles.
See, I remember whenever you did the interview with him, man, he is extremely expressive. He uses his hands to communicate. And
very much so in real life.
I'm aware. I was standing next to him. I was the subject of a lot of these expressions.
He gave Lewis a full on like arms and leg hug. He climbed him. Yeah. Like wrapped himself around Lewis.
Lewis is a fluffy guy.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, I gotta hug you.
I'm a big hugger. Oh.
Oh man.
Like one of my favorite moments from that interview is me bringing up what he did for one summer while he was in college. Is he worked as a mime in a theme park.
Perfect fucking job for that guy, man.
But like his face when I brought that up.
Yeah.
Because we always ask people, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Because if you don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. And he said, no, I'm good to talk about whatever. All right then. Because I dug some shit up.
Oh, really? He goes, oh, really?
It's like, so let's talk about you being a mime.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I forgot about that. I don't want to talk about that, but I guess it's too late now.
Hey, it wasn't on your list of things we can't talk about. He had 2 things he didn't want to talk about, and obviously I'm not going to bring them up, but I didn't talk about them. But that was his short list. It was 2 things, and you being a mime is not on this list.
Yeah. Go check out all our interview videos. We've got some great celebrities that we got to interview. Awesome feedback.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you dig around on our website, you can actually find a video of JD and I interviewing Guar.
Oh, that's not much of an interview. That's one question and Guar talking.
It's kind of an Easter egg in the website. You got to go find it. It's fun.
Yeah, I need to resource that, but it's tough. It's tough to even find it.
Yeah, but it's in there.
It is in there.
Yeah, you have to post that again because I didn't even know y'all did that.
Yeah, it's like one question and then just Guar talking.
Yeah, I looked at JD. I was like, "Fuck, dude, we gotta get an interview with these guys." Great.
So Jimmy asked a question and it was just that.
Yeah.
What did you ask him?
Let's see. It was Beefcake, Odorous. No, not Odorous wasn't alive.
Yeah.
It was Beefcake, Blothar, and Sleazy P, and they were all done up, man. They were all done up, and then I just asked them how they were enjoying the con.
And that was it. They took it from there.
Oh, there's a lot of
insulin-resistant fatties dressed like Kevin Smith.
Yeah. They were hilarious, man.
I think if I were to cosplay, I'd cosplay as Bill Cosby.
This was like shortly after the rape allegations came out.
That is what's up.
And then Sleazy P goes, "Yeah, you don't need to dress up as Bill Cosby to date rape. You just go as yourself." You know? It was, damn. Not safe for work.
No.
It's not safe for work. No. Those guys are vulgar as hell.
Oh, yes.
But they're hilarious.
I saw him play, I think 2 years ago. And it was about a year. It was about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. Anyways, they were doing a rendition of some stuff that's happened, and they were trying to find a new singer. And so they had like a combination of like 3 different people singing different parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And during this whole thing going on, man, like the acts on stage are usually really just wild. Well, there's this one. like I've seen a lot of their live stuff before, and there's this one statue that they had I've never seen before. It was freaking like huge and massive, and it was like slaying everybody on stage and shit like that. And then everybody started like shooting shit at it and started killing it. Yeah, like guts and shit shooting out. And then all of a sudden, this fucking huge ass T-Rex came out of nowhere. That was
Gorgor
was even bigger than the damn monster.
Yeah.
Like the T-Rex's head was probably about half the size of this fucking hall, like the kitchen right there.
Yeah.
And it started like biting on him. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was not getting close to the stage because I was not trying to get fucking semen on me. And blood.
Well, it's not real.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm not trying to get soaking wet with semen and blood.
Why not, man? I walked out of there the last time I went to a Guar concert, and I like dumped out like a cup of.
If it's not my own, then I'm not trying to deal with it.
Shit was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
If you've never been to a Guar show, go check them out. They're great, man. It's something to see. It's just a spectacle to enjoy because of all the work they put into putting on that show.
The Nerdery's actual ancestral podcast. You left one recording one night and went straight to the concert.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. As a matter of fact, the creator of that podcast was the reason I had ever got to see a Guar show because he went. He
works at a venue.
Well, he didn't at the time. What had happened was him and his wife were getting married, and he actually had his bachelor party at a Guar show.
Oh, cool!
So we all met up at
yeah.
Warehouse Live, and we all went to the Guar show, and that was my first time. So it was amazing, a lot of fun. I got like targeted by the bow driver, whoever was freaking using the damn cannon.
Yes, Jose. It is like SeaWorld. Rammstein is kind of the other way around.
It's a lot of fire.
Yeah, Rammstein. They're not even allowed to seat people in the U.S. up close to the stage anymore.
No,
due to people falling out from dehydration.
Hey, aren't they
yeah, it's like you know, if you go to a Gallagher show, you're supposed to bring like if you're going to be in the first like 10 rows, you bring raincoats and shit. Well, if you go to a Rammstein show,
you bring a camel pack.
Yeah, camel pack and maybe like a flame retardant jumpsuit, maybe a fire suit.
And ask Tanya, she'll tell you don't get in the pit.
Don't get in the pit.
That's how you get broken legs.
Yeah, she pulled a Tanya, and then like a couple of weeks later, what's his name on the Texans?
JJ Watt.
JJ Watt
had the same.
He pulled
fracture.
a Tanya.
Yeah.
But everybody started telling your wife, well, you pulled a JJ Watt. And he's like, fuck you. It was.
Yeah, he pulled a me.
Bruh.
Yes, Jose, it is Rammstein.
Rammstein. Yeah.
Named after the airfield.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was an air show, and it was an accident, and a bunch of people died. It was pretty tragic.
So, as far as our topics of discussion, is there anything you guys want to...
No, I want to dig into this little Fox and Marvel thing a little bit more, because long and short of it, man, we really don't know how this is going to happen. Come out the other side.
Yeah.
Because almost everybody's nearing the end of their contracts. Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because Chris Evans has been on both sides of it. He's played Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and he's played Captain America.
Yeah.
So, I think, as far as Chris Evans coming up on his contract, I think they've got that on lockdown already, because they've got 2 successors to the Cap Shield.
Yeah.
It already brought to the Marvel MCU. It's just a matter of who's going to get it.
Well, with Robert Downey Jr., we still don't have an Ironheart.
We don't.
And with Thor, that's dead.
We may not have an Ironheart, but we do have a Pepper Potts. And they could bring in Rescue.
They could. I don't see them doing it, though. Just because I felt like if they were going to exploit that character, they would have done it in Iron Man 3.
And they kind of did. They
put her in a suit for a minute.
Yeah.
And that was our rescue.
Yeah, and that was about it.
Yeah, we there's a whole lot of stuff that we really wanted to see, and the most we've gotten is just like a little tip of the hat.
No,
just the tip.
No.
Wave it around.
I would say there is somebody who could replace Tony Stark. That'd be Jim Rhodes, which in the comic books, when they did the Demon in a Bottle story,
he's the one who took on the armor.
Who took on the mantle of Iron Man because Tony Stark was dealing with his alcoholism.
Yeah.
So there you go.
War Machine.
Yeah. And he would be the natural successor because he already has Stark armor. Yeah. He already knows how to pilot it.
And here's something that somebody brought up to me, our good friend Nico. And what about the television series? Well, my personal take on how that's going to go is they're going to continue business as usual until the end of their seasons.
Maybe.
And then at that point, if there's any like Marvel Entertainment interaction, that's where it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see that mid-season.
But you know the thing about it is if anything that Fox has going, I don't think Disney is going to try and squash it. If it's successful, I think they're going to let them keep doing business as usual because, like you said before, that's kind of their thing. You know? They do that. They don't buy up properties and say, well, things are going to change.
Yeah, we're going to fucking totally scrap
say,
everything
hey,
you did.
we bought you because you're lucrative, you're making money, you know, or we see something here that has potential and we want you to continue with it.
Well, the primary reason Disney bought out Fox is to gather up more properties for the Disney streaming service.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot of stuff in there, and Jose brought up something I never even thought about.
What did you bring up? What'd you bring up, Jose?
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
What the fuck are they going to do with Quicksilver?
What the fuck could they... Yeah, well... Because they have him in the X-Men universe.
Yeah, there's two.
But there's not, because supposedly Quicksilver's dead in the Marvel MCU. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
It hasn't been officially stated.
Nobody.
It's all been implied.
Right. But that's going to be kind of a funky thing. I think the only way, like if we're talking, the idea comes to my mind is X-Men. If they ever did translate it to the Marvel MCU, the only way I could see it happening was like if it would be an alternate universe or something like that, where the X-Men existed in this universe and the Avengers and everybody else existed over here, and somehow they got merged or crossed over.
I want to see Axis.
Axis? That would be crazy.
And honestly, since Logan, Doug Jones.
Ooh. Real arms, too.
Yeah.
He's pretty gangly. He's a very tall guy. And he loves doing what he does.
Yeah.
He loves it.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about we were talking about Jose's comment about Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Ah,
and
yes.
Axis. You mentioned
Axis.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're actually perfectly positioned for Axis to happen in the cinematic universe because we saw the death of Charles Xavier in Logan.
Yeah.
So, if ever there were a time for that to be pulled off and pulled off perfectly, it's right now.
But you'd have to bring the Red Skull back to life. You'd have to have Xavier established in the MCU.
Exactly.
And wait, if Xavier's dead and they can use him, and Logan's dead, can they use him?
I don't see why not.
Because if the character's dead, they can't make anything more about him. Because
Wolverine wasn't as impacted as everybody else with Axis.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could see that with Tony Stark. We could see it with Carnage. That would be great.
Well, they got to get to Carnage first.
Yeah.
Establish that character.
But I mean, as far as what has been happening in the Fox universe, like the timing is perfect for that.
What I see happening as far as Fox and Disney goes, I think Disney would probably leave them alone, and Fox seems like more of a good vehicle for them to pull off some of these more adult titles.
Yeah.
Like if they were going to revamp Ghost Rider, which they don't really have to because they've already got Robbie Reyes out there.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to put Robbie Reyes in a situation where you're dealing with more violent story arcs, where people are dying or being... Ghost Rider basically burns people and sends their souls off to hell.
Yeah.
You can't really do that in a Disney movie.
No.
In the MCU, as far as we've known, it's been violent, it's been bloody to some extent, but it hasn't been like
over the top.
Yeah, it hasn't been seriously over the top like Deadpool or something like that. So I think Disney would probably use what licenses are under Fox as kind of a vehicle to do the more adult stuff.
I can see that.
Do a revamp of Blade, and get away with it, and not have to dumb it down for the PG or PG-13 audiences.
New Line did the Blade trilogy, didn't they?
They did, but they haven't done a Blade movie in so long.
Yeah, I think that those rights are already reverted. But there's a lot of properties.
That's actually where Ryan Reynolds found out about Deadpool.
Yeah,
that's the I think the director came to him or the producer came to him. He's like, dude, you are pretty much playing this guy already.
Yeah,
you need to look into this. And he started reading Deadpool.
Yeah.
He
is the perfect person. The only other person I think that has as much of a mouth as Ryan Reynolds is Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But I don't.
Sean William Scott, go watch the Goon or Goon 2: The Last of the Enforcers. He doesn't talk much in either one of those.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And he's the main character.
Nah, fuck that.
He is a mentally slow. Was a bouncer.
Saw a whole bunch of shit get posted.
Yeah.
Jose, what you saying?
Give me a hard reset, new Logan, new Jean Grey. Don't make Juggernaut a mutant. Thank you.
And bring in the Phoenix Force. Phoenix Force needs to be handled very, very delicately.
And my parents. That's not my hand rubbing my knee right now. But yeah.
And keep it going. Don't retell how the Fantastic Four were made and just add Spider-Man to the team. At this point, I don't feel like you need to say how the Fantastic Four were made. They're kind of in the same position as Spider-Man.
If you bring them into the current MCU, I think there's a lot of groundwork that's already been established in the MCU to bring the Fantastic Four in.
Oh, definitely.
And just kind of have them show up in a moment of crisis, like, hey guys, we're here to help, and who the fuck are you? We kind of call ourselves something fantastic.
I think with the Fantastic Four, I mean, you could introduce them in like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Like a newspaper in a background shot or some news report on a TV. That's very easily done. The ship coming back. Yeah. And that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
That's all you would have to do. Because everybody would instantly, at least all the comic book guys would instantly go, that's fucking Fantastic Four.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it without actually being along for the ride. Yeah. You're just, you hear about the ship coming back and then everything else just happens off in the background.
Well, like Green Lantern has been heavily alluded to so far in the DCEU.
See, I still need to get on Justice League, man. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
And
have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Oh, fuck.
No, I know you saw Thor Ragnarok. That was good though.
Man, like my criticism on that movie, I posted on it in a conversation a couple weeks ago on here. Is they mixed they mixed Planet Hulk a little bit with having some of the fighters from the planet, some of the gladiators, and putting them into the fucking Marvel Contest of Champions. And
I think that was the best way to do it without reaching too far, because Contest of Champions, you already got the exposure from playing the game.
Yeah,
we played the shit out of that game. And everybody kind of knows who the Grandmaster is.
Yeah,
like Goldblum playing him.
I wonder if they're gonna. I wonder at some point in time, are they gonna have the Collector and the Grandmaster meet?
They might
in the movie, because they're brothers.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if there's going to be some sort of conflict or whatever, or if they're actually going to go ahead and kind of do their own thing with the Contest of Champions.
It's possible.
That would be fucking awesome.
They introduced him and... Huh?
Do what?
Jose says he wants the Illuminati to happen. I do.
Yes! Fuck yes!
But for that to happen, we still have to have Xavier, and we still have to have Namor. If you want to do original lineup.
Yeah.
So...
But there hasn't been any mentions of Namor in a movie, has there?
No.
Not yet.
Well, and right now in the DCEU and Batman vs Superman, there's talk of a test pilot going missing.
Yeah,
it's in background, but it's there. And then the lieutenant that drives the general around.
That was
her name is Kate Ferris.
Yes, the one who said Superman was hot.
Yeah.
What are you smiling about? Like,
I'm sorry. I just think he's kind of hot. Get in the car, Lieutenant. Captain. She was a captain.
Yeah.
But, so already just in that movie alone, or in Man of Steel and then Batman vs Superman, we have a lot of allusions to Green Lantern being in existence.
Warner Brothers and DC are doing a good job with that because it's a
They're
good way
easing
to
back
introduce
into that.
people. Yeah.
And well, here in Justice League, we get a huge shot of a massive war, and who do we see show up to this war that happened in the past? A shit ton of Green Lanterns.
Wait, the Green Lanterns show up in the Justice League movie?
Nobody's named.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a shit ton of Green Lanterns.
And there was already mention of it in a trailer.
Yeah.
When what's his name? Darkseid's son, I guess, or one of his acolytes, the big horned guy.
Oh no, that's Steppenwolf. That's his uncle.
Uncle. Okay. So yeah, when Steppenwolf, I guess he's talking. He's doing a monologue. He said that your world is unprotected. There are no lanterns. There are no yada yada. You know, and you're like, lanterns. Holy shit! They haven't even introduced a lantern yet. And yeah, so it's coming.
I gotta fucking watch that. I'm surprised they haven't put it on Showbox yet, man.
We don't
talk about that.
Oh, don't talk about what?
We don't talk about exactly.
Exactly.
There you go. Pulling out a pop vinyl, folks. Steppenwolf. There you go.
It's cute.
So yeah, that guy mentions there are no lanterns. There's no protection for your world.
Exactly.
And that's pretty cool. I think I need to go see this movie before I talk anymore.
Ooh, Jose, yeah,
up, Jose?
you're hitting the nail right on the head. You can't have an Aquaman movie followed by Namor. No, yeah, that would make Marvel look like crap.
They're trying to keep up with
DC. And the funny thing is, particularly
that's how it worked in comics.
I mean, at least
well, and with those two characters, Namor was first.
Yeah. So,
man,
I would say Marvel probably
wait a
has
couple
the
years,
right.
you know, and then go ahead and have Namor pop up in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
you know?
technically, he probably would have already. If you look at some of the previous Marvel films, especially like the very first Cap movie, you get to see the Human Torch, the original Human Torch, the Mechanical Man.
Yeah.
They have him on display at the World Fair.
Yeah.
That him and Bucky go to before they ship out, or
yeah.
before he ships out, and he's in a cylinder, and you see him in the red suit and everything. It looks just like the Mechanical Man from the old Marvel comics.
Yeah.
The reason why is because he was synthetic, and his skin was
magnesium coated.
Yeah, it was magnesium coated. So every time he would be exposed to oxygen, it would catch fire, and he could throw fireballs and stuff like that. Well, back in the day, you had the Invaders. You had Captain America, that Human Torch, and Namor. So if they've already established that the original Human Torch exists in the MCU,
then
Namor should have existed as well. It's just not mentioned.
Sons of bitches.
And to me, Marvel missed a perfect opportunity to allude to him with Agent Carter.
Because nobody has a license to that, do they?
No, that's under Marvel. It was optioned out, but I don't remember which studio picked it up, but they never did anything.
Fantastic Four would have been the only other vehicle to use it for.
Yeah.
Because of Namor's desire for Mrs. Richards.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, outside of that, Agent Carter would have been a great vehicle to introduce Namor as well, because it was all in that time period. So it was perfect.
And give me a John Stewart Green Lantern.
I saw that.
And
I'm going to give you the lowdown right now. I did some digging, and I got the plot points for the Green Lantern Corps movie. What we're going to see is an aged Hal Jordan training John Stewart.
JD is really excited about this because his favorite character out of the whole Green Lantern mythos is the Parallax Hal Jordan.
Yes, Emerald Twilight.
And I think that sounds like the perfect start for Emerald Twilight.
Oh, definitely. And I just want to see him turn back to the good side and like force Parallax into that essentially suicide mission to reignite a star. Because man, that's an incredible force of will. That hands down, yeah, when it comes to wielding will as a weapon, nobody can do it better.
Yeah.
Because everything that could possibly stop him is there stopping him, and he still does it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know. Yeah, give me an Emerald Twilight. I'll be happy.
Fuck yeah.
But if, you know, honestly, if we did that, we're going to have to cast them all. Guy Gardner, you know, Kyle Rayner. And
the guy's my favorite.
And then just, and a new Kilowog, and I just want to see them all dead. And Hal wearing all their rings.
Goodness.
That's what happened. That's what happened in the books. It'd be really cool to see. Man.
Just walking around saying thug life with all them rings.
Yeah. That's what you should do, man. Get a shot of like the maniacal Hal Jordan holding the rings. Just put thug life. That'd be great.
Pimpin'.
You guys, you get on that, man. I'm serious.
Dude, he had a cape and everything.
Fuck it. We got social media accounts, and you start posting up fucking memes and shit. Comic book related memes. It'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Or hell, man, go ahead and post that, Jose, if you got access. Do that shit.
Hell yeah.
Sounds great. We'll just be content to know that we spawned that idea and somebody went and did it. We're like, fuck yeah, somebody went and did that. That's awesome.
Is there a picture of Hal Jordan where he's like just holding?
Yes. Yeah. And he's like smiling. He's like grinning ear to ear.
Yeah.
He's got shit tons of rings.
Life.
I want another one of him, the panel of him standing on Oa and just the dead lanterns all around him. Just, these hoes ain't loyal. My pimp hand is strong.
Oh yeah, there it is right there.
Yep. Thug life. It deserves a thug life.
But yeah, so we are going to get a live action Jon Stewart, and it's going to be fucking awesome.
Have they cast anybody yet, or is it still kind of in the works?
Warner Brothers is doing their Super Vault on this one. Yes, this is turning out like BVS.
Yeah.
Like they're with a lot of these movies. I think we are going to see that because BVS was by far an incredible success in spite of its failings.
Yeah.
But
I thought
the
was
fact
amazing.
that they had information so locked down on that film, and so much of that film was shot before anybody even knew that was even a remote possibility.
Yeah.
No shit.
Oh yeah, like I think they had like 40% of the film.
They did everything
filmed.
They probably did
before
everything.
They started letting everybody know that they were actually doing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
They probably did everything. Everything that didn't involve the two main characters being together before filming all the scenes.
Who's the two main characters of that movie?
No, but I think it was.
All right, before Batman and Superman.
I think that was Comic-Con International 2013 or 2014. It is also the reason why Marvel didn't do one for so long. Because Marvel had all these incredible trailers coming out. Their Phase 2, Phase 3 shit. And just all sorts of trailer. And DC didn't have anything. And then last day of the con. Alright, everybody come into this room. Lights go down. And it was all of 10 seconds.
Was it Batman sitting in front of the...
It was the bat symbol sitting there. And Batman in the armor looking up. And the lightning flashes, and then there's Superman, and then you see Superman land, and that was it. That's all they showed, and they did all their surveys at the end of the convention. You know what trailer made the most biggest impact, and it was all Batman versus Superman, Batman Superman, Batman Superman, Batman Superman. DC had a 10-second short. It's not even a teaser. It's a short. It's not even a commercial.
My favorite teaser from that one was seeing Batman sitting in the cave in front of the Bat computer, the monitors, and watching the video of Zod, the recording of Zod, or even the transmission of Zod, basically addressing the Earth.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, it's happening. This is cool.
Like this dude's pissed.
You see in the fight between Batman and Superman, or not Batman, Superman and Zod in Man of Steel, they tore up a Wayne Tech satellite.
Yeah. They blew up a Luthor Corp
tanker
truck.
and fought on top of the building that shows up later in BVS.
Yeah.
And fucking cool, man.
But no, they did that 10-second, like the T for tease. That was it. That's all the amount. That's all you could fit in 10 seconds.
But everybody
and
wanted it.
They took the con by storm with 10 seconds. Meanwhile, Marvel had unloaded like a good solid 15 minutes of trailers, and everybody forgot everything about it over a 10-second little spot.
It's a big deal, man.
It was a huge
iconic comic book characters.
Nobody was expecting it.
Jose, we used to run the fan, then we changed mics, and this mic picks up all the noise from the fan, so we don't run it anymore.
Yeah, sorry. It's getting a little foggy in here.
Just look harder.
Yeah, we'll get closer. Better?
Show a nipple.
Can you see us better?
Show a nipple.
We can see you.
I'm fixing to show a butt cheek.
No, don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I know we're explicit, but no.
I'll show his butt cheek.
I don't feel comfortable about that.
Kill the Universe, give me a Marvel Zombies. Now here's the funny thing when it comes to adaptations of zombie style, comic book live action. Once again, DC took it. They took it first. There was actually like 4 whole episodes of Smallville where everybody was pretty much a zombie.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, and it was right when Marvel Zombies was coming back again.
Yeah.
And I guess Warner Brothers is like, you know what? That's a good idea. What do we have? Okay, we have Smallville. Let's do it on Smallville then.
So I never watched Smallville too much, man. My sister loved Smallville. I just didn't give a shit about it, man.
It was good.
I might have a couple of the DVDs.
Yeah, I'm good.
It was really good, but it seemed to follow the same formula the whole way through, and it was like it was like, oh, new character that's being introduced that has some problem with the being enhanced by the meteors that came from Krypton, and Superman's got to squash that shit. Or I'm sorry, Clark Kent has to squash that shit. So the blur. But that was back in the WB days.
Yeah.
And they followed that same formula for a while. What I like about the new CW shows is there's a little bit of that formula in there, but they do more character development.
I like Supergirl.
Supergirl's
I really love that.
Well, we also have Titans coming for CW, and Alan Ritchson, who played Aquaman or Arthur Curry in Smallville, is returning as Hawk.
That's cool. That's very cool.
I have met him. We had an interview scheduled,
and he got a little upset.
He did get a little upset.
Why?
Because I interviewed Shawn Ashmore and Laura Vandervoort first, because I went in line of how they were. And Shawn Ashmore was actually in I think the second episode.
You should have done it Japanese style, man, right to left.
Because it was
America, damn it.
America.
Why aren't you interviewing me first? Because it's left to right, bitch. It's America.
This isn't metric. This is standard.
Imperial.
Oh, Imperial. My bad.
Yeah, I gotta say it right.
Because we're such an empire over here.
Oh yeah.
No, it was Shawn Ashmore, who played Bobby Drake in the X-Men movies, and he also was one of the first. I think he was the very first villain in Smallville.
Yeah.
So it was cool to talk to him, and
his
twin brother.
He got to be on both sides of it, and his twin brother plays. What was he in film as well?
He is in several films, but he was also in Smallville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played.
I lost it.
Yep. Jimmy Olsen.
He played Jimmy Olsen in Smallville.
He played Jimmy Olsen in Smallville.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Olsen and Iceman were brothers.
Those bastards.
And Iceman also stole all of Superman's powers once.
Wow. Yeah, because he played Parasite, right?
A version of Parasite.
A version of Parasite? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So he took all of Clark's powers, and I actually brought it up in the interview. So what was it like, filming with Tom? Like, well, I've always been a big comic book fan, and, I just kind of lucked into that role, but it was really cool to beat Superman's ass for a week.
That's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, he was a great guy. And then Laura Vandervoort, she played Supergirl on Smallville.
Yeah, yeah.
And Alan Ritchson played Arthur Curry. And all three of them are still popping up in other comic book properties. Now, Shawn Ashmore primarily in Marvel, but Laura Vandervoort is now on Supergirl as the villain, and Alan Ritchson is coming back as Hawk, a Rob Liefeld created character for DC. So, figure that crap out in your brain for a minute.
It's really cool.
I think chew on ice chips to keep you from getting overheated.
This is the stuff that I wished had happened when I was a kid, but I'm glad it didn't because it would have been so fucking hokey. I'm so glad that they've waited this long for the Matrix to come out and all this shit. Where we've had so many advancements in visual effects and all the stuff and I love how people are still using practical.
Oh yeah.
You got to mix the two. You can't just go straight.
Of course, George Miller is the king of practical effects.
God, man.
And he's also the king of implied violence.
I want to see George Miller do a comic book film, like a comic book movie.
I want to see him do a live-action comedy.
Because, I mean, if he can go from Happy Feet...
what?
Live-action comedy.
Okay.
If he can go from doing Mad Max, Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome, to Happy Feet, back to Mad Max, I think he can do a comic
Wait, he did Happy Feet?
Yes,
yeah, he did Happy Feet 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Out of here.
Yes.
He wrote them both, and he directed and produced them both.
Yes.
That guy's fucking nuts, then.
Have you seen the cars? That man is creative as hell. I want to see him do
one of the vehicles in the film is one that they just found.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's that? I don't know.
Let's use it.
Let's cut that one up and put it on top of this one.
The Cadillac, the freaking the one that
they built 3 of those.
Morton Joe was driving. Yeah, that thing was fucking cool. It wasn't just one caddy; it was 2 caddies stacked on top of each other.
That's fucking awesome.
Like they fabricated every vehicle in Fury Road.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
I still want the War Rig horns on my RX-8. Because that would be just fucking epic. Flying down 610, somebody cut me up. I got the flames coming out the tailpipes already. This is going to fit in great. I got a screwed up passenger fender. Thank you, whoever you are.
Hey, it looks more like it belongs in Mad Max.
And because you have an RX-8, you're going to have to get a midget instead of full-size dude with 2 little half stacks playing a guitar.
I got a
mini ukulele.
Harmony has a ukulele.
That's what's up,
dude. We so got this.
Just gotta wire it, and
or you could just have Harmony do it.
No.
Yeah, let's not do that. I don't want to kill anybody.
No. She get too crazy with that flamethrower.
Burn everything.
Yep. And laugh maniacally while she does it.
Kids are creepy.
Yeah.
Dude, start sleeping in a clown mask. In case it gets up in the middle of the night, comes to try to wake you up, just scare the shit out of him.
No, my son, he'll be trying to take it off and put it on himself.
I'll do some makeup on you, gore you up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Like, my son would be like poking it, like, what happened, Daddy?
How?
Yeah, that would like, oh shit. And he's like, you okay? Bezlow's ass won't ask me for chocolate milk at 6:30 in the morning anymore.
Whose Facebook page are we having to check? Because I know you're friends with Keith and I know you like the nerdery page.
I don't have a Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I know you're not friends with him on there.
I'm sorry. don't feel bad, Jose, because I don't have any Facebook friends at all, really, because I don't have a Facebook.
But he's got real friends in real life.
We are like 10 minutes over time on the nerdery page. We're like 10 minutes over time, but real quick, I wanted to talk about this. This is the newest DC deck building set to come out. This is Confrontations. For those of you who ever played the Rivals game, which is PvP, there's no central villain to play against. And actually, before we dig into that, let me explain what DC deck building is. Imagine taking Magic the Gathering and Upper Deck's Legendary, smashing them together, wiping away the blood, and trimming the fat. That's this right here.
He threw in there trimming the fat. He usually doesn't do that.
Yeah, you got to trim the fat up on this one because it is a much faster game than either one of those.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah, no. I love Legendary. I think Legendary is great, but
I love Magic.
it does, then you might like these deck building games. They're pretty cool.
Really?
The creator of Magic the Gathering actually played Legendary and like gave it 2 thumbs up. Like,
No shit.
He was one of the beta testers.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. It's fun, but it's really complicated and it takes a lot of time.
Oh yeah, you did a thing on it a few months ago, huh?
Legendary?
Yeah.
No,
we haven't played Legendary in a while.
a long time.
'Cause
But I'd be down to play again.
Anyways, go ahead.
This is this is a very, very fast paced game. Compared to Legendary, it moves a heck of a lot faster.
Except for Crisis.
Yeah, Crisis can be daunting.
And from near as I can tell, the Watchmen crossover will be like
It takes a while.
Infinity Stones level of
Okay.
Legendary,
Okay.
like 8 hours,
Oh,
set
nice.
aside a day.
So there are different scenarios you can use in the game to kind of spice things up. You want to play a long game, there are ways to do that. You want to play a short game, there are ways to do that. You know, the short games are good for parties.
Yeah.
Because you can get like people start watching you play and they're like, "Oh, dude, I want to play." They don't have to wait like 3 hours to play.
No, you can just
you know.
quick run it, and you can trim it down to be as short a game or as long as a game as you want. Essentially, if you put like 2 villains in there, you can be done in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or you can put like a full stack of 15 villains in there, and you can be at it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or you can throw in one of the Crisis packs, and you can be at it for 4.
But do you have a solo play?
There is no solo play version of this. The closest we have to that is the DC deck building Rivals, which is Batman versus the Joker. It's 2 players.
Yeah.
There, you don't have a central villain. You're essentially fighting each other. Well, everybody loved that game, but they kind of wanted a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Or they wanted
And
a
this is-
chance to do more characters. They wanted more selection. So they came out with this, which is essentially an expansion for Rivals. However, the box is 4 times the size of what it's expanding on.
It's got a fuckload of cards.
Yeah, it's a full deck. But this has 8 characters in it. And then you can, if you already have Rivals, you can put Batman and the Joker in it, and you have 10 characters. And you can run 10 players free for all, or you can do team play, however you want to do it.
That is the thing about Legendary. They do have rules to play a solo game. You can play by yourself. Because essentially it's, you know, whoever's playing with you is, you're all playing heroes. So you just set it up with the villain. You've only got 3 heroes to pull from, and you can play it by yourself. The solo games on Legendary usually take about an hour and a half at tops. I think Cryptozoic needs to get on some rules for that.
Well, essentially, it could be done with a standard core set. Obviously, not this one, but with a core set, you could have a bleeding lineup like what you have in Legendary, to where a card comes out every turn, and even if the lineup's full, that last card gets bumped out,
yeah,
and you're sitting there trying to fight the villain.
yeah, okay.
You could do that,
You could
and
do that.
then however much victory points is left in that got out versus how many you have.
And that's how you determine whether or not
Yeah,
you won or lost.
Because in Crisis, because essentially the standard rules show like if 3 cards are bought out of the lineup, all 3 get replaced.
Yeah.
But when you play Crisis, only 1 card comes out. So if you get a full lineup at some point and somebody buys all 5, the next person's screwed because there's only going to be 1 card out
They're
there.
only going to get that one.
But if the lineup fills up and another card comes out, it does bleed out.
Oh, wow.
So the mechanics are so easy to manipulate and change. You could essentially set up, like you could have a core set with maybe 2 crossover packs and a Crisis, and you could set it up for essentially any game format you want.
Cool. Very cool.
Except for PvP. For that, Rivals or Confrontations. But I haven't played it yet, but I have read some of the character cards, read some of the new mechanic that they put into it, and it looks really fucking awesome. They've added a new mechanic, Assist,
Yeah.
which is a card that you can't play in your turn. You play it in your teammate's turn to help them out.
To help them out.
Oh, that's pretty
But
cool.
a lot of them will also give you a little boost too. So there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out. And I told you about this, which you actually got excited about it, which got me even more excited about it. The next crossover pack to come out will come out next year, and that is New Gods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
if we could move this table right now.
Which I thought about. We're probably going to be filming a game here pretty soon
I would like to do that.
as a filler episode, because sometimes shit happens and we can't be here, and I don't like an empty spot. I don't like to skip a week. So I'd like to put something up.
Yeah. And we've kind of slimmed down on a lot of the other videos we were doing.
Yes.
We are going to get back to that eventually.
We are getting back to that.
Holiday season, and our producer has had to step away for a bit. So
I'm working on it though.
Yeah, he's working on it. No, you're doing a bang up job. Tanya's doing a great job when she operates the soundboard.
She's doing a great job too.
Yes, you are, Keith. We are so glad you're here tonight. Oh, sorry. It's been a blast, and Jose, thank you very much for
bringing up some key points.
Yeah, bringing up some key points, and always tuning in. You're awesome.
And if everyone else that watches this could go ahead and chime in as well, it's always a lot more fun too.
Like us, subscribe. Definitely subscribe. So there you go. Like us and subscribe. JD's getting on it.
Slide my DMs and send nudes.
No. Just like and subscribe. That way we can notify you when we're going to be on or when we posted something new. I don't know. Do we do that? We should.
There is actually a way they can subscribe to the RSS feed on our actual website.
Okay.
And once they're subscribed to the website, because the website actually auto updates our last episode.
Okay,
nice.
cool.
Our last Sunday show actually uploads. It's right there on the left-hand side of the screen, and
boom.
So anything new that comes up on the website, if you're subscribed to that RSS feed, it'll let you know.
Yes. Definitely visit the website. There's always
visit the website. Subscribe to the RSS feed. That way you can keep up with what we're talking about. And do we need to? We need to do some sponsors.
Yes, we need to do a sponsor.
Yeah, Captain Jack's Elixirs. I don't know everything that I need.
322 East Texas Avenue, Baytown, Texas 77520. You can see their website at www.captainjackselixirs.com, or you can go to thenerdery.net, and up there at the top, click that little tab that says Nerd Fog, and it'll take you right over there to you.
Get you some good vape, and maybe see a couple of us there.
Maybe.
You never know. We might be in buying juice ourselves, man.
Yeah. Or you could just see Patty all the time.
Yeah, Patty's
just
there.
Go see her pretty face, try to hit on her, and let her turn you down.
Yeah, she'll totally hate it. It'll be great.
But also, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on all those. Sorry about this Twitter going silent here recently. I've been incredibly slacking. But I'm trying to keep the Facebook updated.
It's the holiday season. We've had a lot of things going on.
Thanksgiving.
So, yeah. There's been a lot of things going on, and your kids don't exactly give you enough time to...
No, they don't.
So, yeah.
You did!
But rest assured, we always show up Sunday for this live show. So,
and yes, our last show of the year will actually be on New Year's Eve, and it will not be live. Instead, it will be a highlight reel of the past year. And yes, I am working on that.
Yeah.
And it will air live. Essentially, what I'm doing is I am creating a video, and I will be starting the feed like a normal show. Is just going to be playing that video instead.
So there will be a spot for people to sit there and chat with each other.
Yes, no, but not with me.
But not with us.
No, I'm going to hit play and hit auto end, and I'm walking away.
So essentially, if you want to, and you've got nothing better to do on New Year's Eve, you can tune in and
talk to yourself.
What if we're just talking to Jose? But Jose, get some people on the forum and start talking shit.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
It'll be fun. You're going to love it. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Hulk versus Wolverine.
Needs to happen.
Yeah.
Needs to happen.
Keep Ruffalo. Throw in Hardy and let him go out.
It's going to be vicious.
I think it'll be great.
Emerald Twilight.
Emerald Twilight. There you go. What about yours? Was the Hulk versus Wolverine?
Yeah, the moment you said, anything with the Hulk.
All right, I got a new one for Keith then. Be good to yourselves and each other. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye!